So I wanted to give one more session where people wanted to have one more session on this. Like they wanted to know how these skills would benefit you. So first of all, this whole batch which I'll be going to start is it's a combo batch including load balancer plus WAF. It does not mean that you will not get basics and all. So whoever is new, whether you are a network engineer or you are a fresher or you are a security engineer. So what my main focus would be, I'll be covering both the courses. So this name advanced WAF is not advanced. I'll be starting from basics to advanced. So this whole content will make you expert in application security engineer. So nowadays, many people have asked about cybersecurity. And from my experience, these both technologies are must for every network and security engineer. When I talk about advanced WAF, it is the name given by F5. Previously, it was given as ASM. When I talk about load balancer, it is called LTM. So whole F5, when I talk about F5 has a product called Big IP. And in Big IP, we have different modules. One module for load balancer specific, one for WAF, that is called ASM. So when I talk about total, here I'll be covering whole design part, implementation part, plus operations part. And after this course, you should be good in your network plus security. People are working in Palo Alto, but that won't benefit you. People are working in cloud security and node. Why I am focusing on this combo batch is which I generally introduce once in a year because F5 is number one product in load balancer plus WAF. And lot of openings which I am seeing in Wipro, Accenture, TCS, they are searching for expertise in both this technology and there are very less engineers. People know this load balancer technology, but I will not be covering load balancer. I'll be covering advanced also plus certification. You know that previous demo I have given you that latest certification F5 has introduced for F5 certified admin. So this whole agenda which I have made, I'll show you right away what things I'll be covering in this whole course. So in this course, I'll be starting from load balancer part, which will cover your around 30 to 32 hours of training. Then I'll be covering advanced WAF, which is called ASM. It will be also around 30 hours. So total this course will be more than 60 hours, where I'll be discussing your implementation part, your deployment part, design part, plus implementation and operations part, plus troubleshooting. Then I'll be covering your interview preparation end to end. So my main agenda is after this training, you will be able to work in production environment. Plus, you will be able to clear any interview. And I can trust you, some of the students who have done my training for F5 have got more than 50 to 60% hike because this is in huge demand. You know that F5 is building and operating. They have good in WAF. They are good in API security. They have good in DDoS. Now they have number one in API security. Many people of us don't know what is API security. Even when they introduced, I was also not sure. Whole security part, they are number one. And load balancer, you know, we have Redware, we have Citrix. This all load balancers are number two, number three. The number one load balancer is F5. So my main agenda is I'll be covering concept which will help you to clear their latest certification, which they have introduced, that is called this. Now you have to give 5 exams to clear any certification. 101 is no more. If you want to clear, you have to clear by 30th April. That I'll not focus right now. I'll be covering in last in Q&A section. So I'll be covering all this. No one has cleared this certification. So I want someone to clear from my batch. I'll be giving this exam next month, and these 5 exams I have to give. Each exam is 30 minutes, and it will have 30 questions. And it will cover not only your data plane concept, your installation part, plus upgrade, plus control plane and support and troubleshooting. They have design exam. See, other exams you can clear it. This exam, there is no setting. And good thing is there are no dumps available. This exam is newly built. So my main focus would be to make you expert in this also. So I will be covering all these 5 modules also with my latest content. So let me cover the course content which I'll be covering. So what is the prerequisite? Only prerequisite is you should have OSI layer knowledge. That's it. You should have just a CCNA level knowledge. That's it. And little bit knowledge on TCP IP. Other things leave up to me. I'll be covering all the things from basics to advanced. So when I talk about your F5 module, so in F5 module, I'll be covering 12 load balancer topics. So first, I'll be covering big IP module. Now they have introduced, so previously it was TMOS. So in 2028, after 3 years, they will be changing their operating system to F5 OS. They have now also been introduced and they will change into big IP next. So I'll be giving introduction on that topics also in this. Even you have done this training before also, it's okay. Here I'll be choosing new things. See, 60% will be load balancer, whatever is covered. 40% I'll be showing you what are the latest things which have covered. Now they have introduced R series. That is in hardware box. That lab we cannot do, but I'll be telling you what is the difference between an operating system. When I talk about F5 as a whole, previously they were in monothology technology. Now they are into microservices. That is in huge demand. Now they have introduced an operating system which is built on Kubernetes plus containers. It does not mean that you need to have knowledge on this. No. Only thing is their underlying operating system is getting changed. That is only the difference. Other than that, concept wise, your HTTP layer, your virtual server, your TCP layer, your HA, health monitor, I rules, there is no change in that. Your underlying operating system is only going to change. They are making more scalable. They are making more flexible. That's it. And they have introduced a good tool to migrate from TMOS to R series. But it is far away. Most of the companies are still on TMOS and they will be there. But my main agenda of this training is I'll be covering whole new concept, also 20% what has been changed. That operating system you should know, because you should know that. And they have a good migration tool for it that is called journey tool. That also I'll show you. They, like in Firewall, you have a migration tool. So if you want to migrate from F5 TMOS to R series, how you can do it. So there is called F5 big IP journey. So there is an big IP journey app that will help you to migrate to your new platform. And this whole platform, when I talk about F5 TMOS, that is called traffic. Even guys, now why I am saying F5 is in huge demand in 2025 and 2026, and there is a guaranteed 50% hike in your current package. Why? Because the latest technology which F5 is building, there are very less engineers. Do you know there have new operating system has come in market, F5 OS, and that is based on which platform? Kubernetes. They've introduced in WAF F5 distributed cloud that is called WAP. How many of you have known this? Anyone? Can you please reply on the chat? They have a F5 which is called advanced WAF, but to operate in market with Azure and AWS, they have introduced this WAP that is called F5 Web Application and API Security. This is in huge demand, and this is whole cloud based. And where it is hosted? It is hosted in F5 cloud. But does concept get changed? No, concept will not get changed. Only thing is F5 OS. When I am talking about F5 OS operating system, I'll just show you how F5 OS looks like, because you need to understand TMOS architecture and F5 OS. That is the first thing which I'll be covering in today's demo. Then I'll show you the course content. So when I talk about previous operating system, that is called F5 TMOS, and the new operating system is called F5 OS. That is integrated with only TMOS only. There is highly tightly integrated with TMOS. You need to understand, but this operating system has a capability for modern architecture. That is the only difference in this, because previous operating system was little bit less scalable. Now this operating system can deal with your automatic application delivery architecture. It sits in Kubernetes. Let's say your application servers are Kubernetes container based, so that can support. So when I talk about how F5 is a company that has different editions of platform, but what has been introduced now is R series. So what is, I'll show you difference. So when I talk about TMOS, you have VMware tenant. Okay, you can build your F5 on tenant basis with big IP, or you can build in hardware also. Then you have guest kernel. Then you have TMOS and TMM. Now, when I talk about big IP, next, this is big IP TMOS. You will have LTM, WAF, DNS. There will be a new architecture, separate. Previously, what happened was, if you touch this, something can impact this, but no. Now there will be in big IP next, your F5 OS will be using your Kubernetes-based architecture. Your GUI, CLI, and API would be little, concept would be changed. But only thing is, when we migrate or when we have any tenant based on R series, that is called multi-tenant architecture. So even you are running your F5 in TMOS architecture, that R series appliance will be running on F5 OS, latest operating system, and they will be able to provision this, but separate tenant, multi-tenant architecture. So you have F5 OS at top layer, then you will have tenants, tenant 1, tenant 2, multi-tenant architecture, tenant 3. So you can have LTM, one tenant, you have one ASM, one GTM, tenant base. And your HA is configured with here separately. HA is configured. There is no dependency of this with this with this. Previously, what happened in TMOS? In TMOS, previously there was an issue that if you touch anything on LTM, it can impact something on ASM, but it will be not like that in R series. R series will be a separate box operating system that I'll be covering in this training also, theory part, because mostly when I talk about it is also integrated with your TMOS box, but they have introduced multi-tenant based architecture. That's the thing which they have introduced. Now, next thing which is I wanted to show you how the hardware architecture looks like. When I talk about F5 OS architecture, how it looks like. So you will have one input output, let's say. You have an L2 switch. Then let's say you have your ADC, that is load balancer. Then you have security. Then you have private cloud. Then there is one engine FPGA, which is having CPU, a sky that I'll explain you. And then further, it has been segregated with here also SSL offloading and CPU. So when I talk about R series boxes, R series boxes are based on FPGA models that is called field programmer gate arrays. So FPGA is in heart of traffic passing through appliance. This is as a heart, like in our case, our heart is main. In that case, in this R series also, that will have a modern FPGAs. So when it sits at the heart of traffic passing through appliance, making critical traffic management decisions. So what will happen is there will be more scalable environment. In TMOS also, we have FPGAs, but now it will make more scalable environment. Latest, they will use Intel CPUs. See, you need to understand this when they will ask you in interview, how it is. It will make more fast processing of your traffic. That is the main thing which they have introduced. And when I talk about Kubernetes based architecture is only thing which they have introduced is they have introduced only operating systems appliances. That's it. Other than that, most of the things will be same. I'll show you one more diagram about this, how our series appliance will look like. Just 1 minute, I'll show you. And the migration tool which I was talking about is Journey app. So now they have introduced a big IP migration tool that is called F5 Journey. Previously, they did not have. Now you can use F5 Journey tool to migrate your old operating systems or old hardware to new hardware. So this is available in GitHub. You can download it, that migration tool, and try in your test environment. So either you want to migrate or an upgrade, you can use this big IP migration tool. So this journey tool is freely available tool that is distributed by F5 to migrate your big IP between different platforms. Let's say I have a configuration which is running on old operating system 2000s and I need to migrate to R series. Now it can be done by Journey tool. Journey is an application migration tool which is designed for customers like you to migrate from big IP configuration to new F5. They can migrate your applications easily. So previously what we used to do, see, usage migration is also possible that I have done already with you guys. Previously, how we used to migrate when a new let's say I have an hardware. Let me take one example, migration from I series boxes to R series boxes. Let's say Vidit needs to migrate this for one customer. What I will do, there is a UCS based concept that is a backup file, which I will take it. Then I will run this command to migrate. Load sys UCS. Then there is a concept called platform migrate. Okay, this we used to do it. And there was a concept of master key. First, you need to load master key, and then you run this command. Your configuration was easily migrated. But now they have introduced much easy tool that is called Journey app. So it can load your UCS, it can flag your configuration gap also. It will also help you to load your validation. Once your configuration is built, it will help you to load it also. Can you see? It will also help you to deploy your updated configuration to either VLOS. One VLOS concept also FF5 has introduced. So that's why I'm saying is this course is must. People don't know this new architecture. That is my focus. Even I will show you WAF also. Distributed cloud also I'll show you today how it looks like. It is very, very interesting. You need to be good in WAF also, but it is not enough. You have to be good in API security. You have to be good in bot defense. Nowadays, cybersecurity engineers are very much in demand. So I'll teach you in that way that you can become application security expert. CEH is okay, but this one is must because we are from network and security background. Then it will also give you post migration diagnostic also. Let's say example I'm just showing you. So you have to take a UCS backup. That is the first thing from your device. Then it will give you in F5 Journey app whether which operating system or which you have to enter your source big IP, master key password, and destination big IP instance. What is master key? Anyone? Do you know there is a concept called master key in when you migrate your boxes? That is very, very important. So master key is a key which will help you to decrypt your SSL certificate and key in F5. That is the main concept of master key. So that I'll show you quickly how to take a master key. How to copy a master key from one F5 to another F. See, for me, course content you can see from WhatsApp. Today, I wanted to cover new things for you because F5 is very, very good now. That's what I can say. So first of all, guys, master key is a concept basically which will help you to decrypt all your SSL key. If you don't move your master key from one box to new box, let's say I want to migrate from IE series to R series. master key is a must. So you need to log in into your iSeries and run this command F5 MKU minus K. Because if you don't migrate or if you don't move your master key from old box to new box, your migration will mostly get failed. Because when you restore your UCS file, it will not able to decrypt your SSL certificates and key. So this is the command to perform F5 MKU minus K to get a master key. And when you go to your login into new F5 box, you need to run this command F5 MKU minus R. That is the first step. Then once you do this, after that there is one more command which you need to run, load sys ucs no license. Why I need to run this command? Because guys, when you are in old F5 box and you need to migrate to new F5 box, license would be separate. Here license would be separate key, here license would be separate key. So when you migrate, you need to type no license because you have to populate a new license key here. It will not work here. That is another concept which is important. After that, when we go into this journey tool, that is the first prerequisite to migrate, you need to enter a source big IP, master key password, and destination big IP instance. Then it can allow you to migrate source big IP to the destination big IP entirely. I will try, I'll cover the migration also in my this training. Journey tool, I'm not sure whether I'll able to do it, but I'll cover all these steps which will help you to migrate. Now, I wanted to show you F5 XE also 1 minute. I'll show you that also quickly, how distributed cloud looks like. So this distributed cloud is your SaaS based solution, guys. See, this is how I'll start the demo. I'll show you. When I talk about distributed cloud, it will help you to deliver a SaaS based service. Now, SaaS based services are huge demand. If you heard about SSC solution like Zscaler, Prisma, why F5 should lag and behind? They have introduced a SaaS based product that is called F5 Distributed Cloud. That is whole based on your SaaS based security. It provides you security, networking, CDN solution, DNS, DDoS, board defense. A single platform to provide you whether your application, let's say I'll take you one example. Okay, I will take one example of F5 distributed cloud. That will help you to understand more. Then I'll cover this demo. Let's say customer says, Vidit, I have some application on Azure network. I have some application on AWS. I have some application on GCP. I want a WAF service centralized which can provide protection from this environment, and this environment. Can your F5 distributed cloud can help on that? Or you need a separate F5 app here to protect Azure application. You need a separate F5 app, advanced app here to protect AWS. and you need a separate F5 app here to save from GCP environment. What you will do it. So now F5 app, this is a great advantage they have introduced that is called web application plus API, where user can access your critical application anywhere, hosted here. They can provide security from single console. You don't need separate WAF here or here. Whether your application is on premises, cloud based, multi tenant architecture, anywhere. It provides security and API security, multi cloud architecture. That is why it has a given a name called SaaS, which provides you AI ML also. Nowadays, your application are AI based. They want AI ML based security. That is also provided by this. Anywhere it can be on premises, public or private cloud. It provides you all your securities. That is the first thing. So how the architecture looks like that I'll show you now. How the WAF F5 distributed cloud architecture looks like that is main to understand. That I'll show you quickly. I've given you the use case. Now I'll show you quickly the architecture of it. See, this is how your architecture of F5 distributed cloud looks like. Let's say you have your applications in public cloud. Please understand this product. This is very critical, guys. You have public cloud, you have private cloud applications. So you have Kubernetes based applications, you have traditional applications, and you have public cloud application. Can you see this? This is your app layer. And you want your global customers who wants to access your application anywhere from internet or cloud. They want a management and separate console, centralized console, multi-tenant services, API integration, machine learning, all security using this. So that can be provided by distributed cloud. From anywhere, they will have F5 global network that is called regional edge. There are multiple regional edge somewhere in Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad that will help you from where to manage it. It's like a G-scaler. In G-scaler also you have POPs. So in this architecture also it has POP, regional edge. See, that is what are the main components, services it has. First, there will be a SaaS-based console, centralized multi-tenant console that will help you to protect your application, even automation also you can do. Global network. F5 will have a regional edge POPs near major global metros. Distributed cloud app stack, what does it means? Your application, including your Kubernetes, latest application, it will provide security. All this will be provided. You will have full security, end-to-end security, API security, multi-cloud networking, application management, all your deployments of Kubernetes application, lifestyle mechanism, will be done from F5 distributed cloud. It is a single platform to manage all your applications. Your providers can be Google Cloud, AWS, IBM Cloud, Red Hat, OpenShift, anywhere in the world. Distributed cloud services can be delivered to application running on any platform. Very, very important. It can connect and your securer applications running in VMware containers and bare metal. Nowadays, serverless technologies are coming, guys. Previously, it was not a serverless technologies, right? Now, serverless Kubernetes technologies are coming. Microservice architecture. Now, what does serverless computing means? Anyone? Where you, as a developer, can write and deploy your code without managing your underlying servers and infrastructure. It will just, you don't need to care of underlying servers and architecture. You will just need to write and deploy your code. Pay as go model. Simple. Now, I'll give you a simple demo to introduce WAP use case. First of all, I'll show you how it looks like, then I'll go. So when I talk about distributed clouds, this is how it looks like. Like it has multi-cloud network. Just if you click on this, it will give you the details of this. It has distributed app, CDN. This one is the main which it does. Web app and API protection. This is what I'll be covering in this course. Web application firewall and API security. If I go here, I'll show you how it looks like. So this is how your web application firewall will happen. It will able to detect your DDoS, API security, port traffic, threat intelligence in one single screen, guys. Can you see in the left? I'll show you in the left. It will show you all the things you can build a WAP policy here. Like you have, like in same thing, they have given you, you have load balancers. See, first of all, okay, let me go with demo that you will understand more. Just 1 minute. I'll show you from here directly. I want to protect sianets.com from F5 app. How I can do it? What things, what are the prerequisites that I'm showing you now? One demo was there. I'll just show you. Uh, this is for Kubernetes. This one. Now, uh, first of all, how WAF looks like. What does WAF generally does? Or what does the load balancer? So it is now a combination of your WAF plus load balancer from single console. You will deploy a load balancer, then WAF. So when I talk about web application firewall, my main agenda is that I can protect my application from OWASP top 10. So I'll just give you introduction of that, how it looks like. So let's say you have external world, you have internal world, your applications are hosted on internal network. Okay, your servers are hosted on internal architecture, and you have external internet, and they want to connect to this application, but you want someone in the middleman to protect your application. So when I talk about OWASP top 10, that is SQL injections, cross-site scripting. For that, you need a WAF device. First, your application can get load balance also, but I want a security also. Okay, that is the main thing. So this type of architecture where I'll be taking one web application where I'll be performing attacks and I will help you to protect your application. So we'll take one vulnerable application, we will deploy it on the front end, and before sending a traffic to your servers, it will protect here. I'll show you one more diagram, just 1 minute. So see, if I talk about load balancer architecture, you will have F5, you have client, then you have servers. But here traffic is coming and going. But no one is tracking that whether you are an hacker or not. Are you getting? Here it working as a normal load balancer. But nowadays, I want that my application servers are protected from latest attacks, latest cybersecurity attack. So in that case, I need to build a layer 7 policy. Okay. So generally what happens, your WAF is a layer 7 device which can protect your application from all layer 7 attacks. So I'll show you quickly on that. Just 1 minute. I'll show you the diagram so that you can understand. So this is a simple topology which I'll be taking. Let's say my machine is Vidit machine. Okay. I have an F5 in between that has both load balancer and ASM, advanced WAF module. So see, here this is my vulnerable application. So what I'll have is I want to protect this application. I'll be performing attacks first. That is an offensive approach. Then I will do protection. Okay. My main agenda to teach you first how to perform attacks, what are vulnerabilities, then how to protect from that attacks. So I'll be taking one laptop, one F5, and one server in WAF. But in load balancer, I'll take multiple server to show you load balancing also. So in this case, we will implement WAF with DDoS solution, with API security and boot defense, end to end. Let's say if this machine is under DDoS attack, how you can prevent it. So in WAF, we have a security policy, guys. that is called layer 7 security policy, which I will be applied in a web that is called virtual server. So in this case, F5, let's say client send a packet to F5. It will see first inspect your traffic, whether it is good or bad. If it finds some vulnerability, it will not send traffic to the server. It will block and you will get a support ID. But if traffic is good, then only it will send to load balance. So first, traffic will get inspected. If it is good, then only it will get load balance. That is why WAF and load balancer works side by side. It will check whether your traffic is malicious or not. That is the main agenda of WAF. If traffic is malicious, it will block at that end. So I'll show you one more technology, how it works, so that you can understand how the HTTP traffic request looks like. Now, this is how a flow diagram which I will show you today. Let's say I will deploy one scenario where only I have load balancer F5. And second topology which I'll show you is load balancer plus ASM. What will happen when user wants to connect to user is sitting on internet, let's say Vidit is sitting on internet. He wants to connect to website called sianets.com. What will happen? Anyone? First DNS resolution will happen. Then I will create a virtual server in my F5. So user request will come to virtual server. It will check whether you have layer 7 policy or not. Let's say in our scenario, request comes in, goes to sianets.com, and it is only acting as a load balancer. See, in that case, it will just go to default pool and then load balancing will happen. In this case, guys, does it check whether traffic is malicious or not? No, it will not check. So there is no security. Only thing is I'm giving 24 into 7 availability. That is the use case of load balancer. But my customer wants availability also, security also, and scalability also. That is what I will teach you in this whole course. Nowadays, customer don't want, they don't care. They want that I'll go with that vendor which is flexible and scalable. That is why F5 is changing is TMOS. TMOS was running from last 25 years. Why it is changing to F5 OS? That is why. Because now applications are based on containers, Kubernetes. Now, now I have a request. Now there is an ASM policy, WAP policy into picture. What will happen? It will check. If it matches your layer 7 policy, it will check whether it's an ASM policy. It will say yes. Now can you check this? It will go here first, second, third, fourth. It okay, it will say Vidit has enabled ASM. Now ASM will check whether it's an valid request. Then only it is forwarding into default pool. Pool is nothing but a combination of your servers. If it is not a valid request, what it is doing? Request dropped. That is why it is in huge demand, guys. Because you are giving a security also to your application. And how it checks that also, I'll show you after this. How it detects that also I wanted to show you. Before that, how load balancers and WAF are deployed in your production environment. This is how it is deployed. Guys, this topology is must for everyone. If you need to be good in your network architect or security architect, you need to know where your firewall should be placed, where your WAF should be placed, where your DDoS should be placed, where your load balancer should be placed. When I talk about firewall, firewalls are mostly placed here. DDoS is placed at internet layer. And number one DDoS which is in market is Arbor. But now after coming into F5, single console is giving you DDoS, firewall, load balancing and WAF in a single device. That is called WAP, distributed cloud. Whether your application is virtual, cloud, containers or traditional. This is the whole mechanism. Let's say if you have a DDoS separately, you have a firewall of Palo Alto, DDoS of Arbor, you have IDS IPS of Palo Alto, then you have F5. So in this case, there are three layers of security. All your DDoS volumetric attacks. What does DDoS attack means? Anyone? That is called distributed denial of service. Don't worry, theory part, for me, main thing is theory plus practical. But in this demo, I wanted to cover practical stuff with topology. That's why I'm not covering theory part much. So DDoS mostly means that someone wants that, hey, Vidit is teaching very good, or Hemu sir is teaching very good. Let's make their website busy so that no one can visit their website. See, we have a lot of competitors who want that. Let's Vidit sir or Hemu sir website gets hacked, or let's Vidit sir, Hemu sir website get busy, totally busy, 100% utilized. So DDoS mostly is there will be multiple client traffic coming to your website so that your website becomes busy. Your server resources will become busy so that your website does not get opened. That is called DDoS attack. Denial of service. So I want my traffic to get protected here from DDoS. Firewall will be protecting from layer 3, layer 4, and layer 7 basics. But when I talk about load balancing, firewall does not give load balancing feature. But when I talk about this combination of load balancer plus WAF, it will give you load balancing plus WAF plus DDoS plus API security, all in one picture that I will be covering. I wanted to show you one more diagram before I'll go with other things. I'll be covering all your HTTP request also, your all HTTP in detail. But I want to show you one good thing. Why should I deploy a load balancer plus WAF? That is the main question which will be asked in interview. One question I'll ask you in after this demo. When we have Palo Alto firewall, checkpoint firewall, why I should need a F5 WAF or any other WAF? Why? Azure WAF. Why I need? When I have Palo Alto firewall into picture. This is the question which I will ask in interview. Every interviewer will ask this question. You need to be ready with it. And whoever correct give me correct answer, there will be a special prize for you. You can reach out to Muskan after this. I'll nominate it. And after that, you will get a special prize after this. Now, first of all, very, very important. Do you perform a vulnerability assessment of your application? What does vulnerability assessment mean? Guys, this whole course, I'll be talking about vulnerabilities, violations, malicious. What does V vulnerability means? Do you heard about brute force attack? Do you heard about burp suit? This also I'll try to cover in this. Vulnerabilities. I'll be performing SQL injection attack. I will be performing parameter tampering attack. What I will do, I'll go to flipkart.com. There is an iPhone which is costing you 12,000 rupees. Generally, it is not so less, but hacker is so smart that it will change into 1 rupee. Can firewall detect it that there is a tampering attack happening? So does your server does VAPT? So before deploying a WAF, there is a VAPT. What does vulnerability mean? Vulnerability is a weakness in your web application. Simple meaning when I talk about vulnerability. So you need to scan your website first. You will see what of, let's say, Vidit Sir, I have my customer will say, Vidit, I have a website, sianets.com. I want to do a VAPT first. I want to see what are the weakness in my website. How hacker can attack. So guys, when an hacker access your website, first thing he will see the weakness, loophole in your website. Then only he can attack your web server or an app server. There are three-tier architecture which I will cover and DB server. Sometimes you will say that your credentials are getting hacked in dark web. How it can be done? It is done because hacker get a weakness in your website, loophole, which will allow you to hack your website. So you want a good VAPT tool which can scan your vulnerabilities. Then you can implement a good WAF. Very, very important. So you have API scanning, VAPT tool, all these things in between. Nowadays, it's very, very important, guys. You have cross-site scripting attack, CSRF attack, everything. I want to understand web security training in detail. How web security works. Now I will show you one more thing. I was showing you that you should, because most of your application team does not perform VAPT. And if they perform, they do not know how to fix it. That is why they need a WAF. They want to control application security without involving development team. Whoever is a developer, they don't want that. They don't have knowledge. So they want all visibility of your application. What is the file type users are using? What are URLs they are accessing day to day? What are the parameters they are accessing? It's a very interesting tool. So it all gives by WAF. How is your organization securing your inbound traffic after passing through network firewall and IPS? That is where we need a WAF. Most of the companies need PCI standards. Nowadays, bots are coming into picture. Automated tools are coming into picture. Does firewall detect it? Does firewall know how to protect from a vast top 10? This is very, very important, guys. If you know this, you can become a good cyber security also. Trust me. WAF plus DDoS plus API security with Palo Alto and SSC will make you good this year. My main agenda is you should become good with WAF, API, load balancer, plus Prisma that I'll be starting after this course, and then Palo Alto. This is my 2025 skills for you. If you know this, then trust me, you are good in security. Your job is safe for 5 years. I cannot give you 10 years guarantee. Now, if AI is coming into picture, do you know that there is a separate OWASP top 10 for AI? That also F5 gives you. Now, how F5 detects vulnerabilities, how it goes through website, that I'll cover in 1 minute. I'll give you one last example. Sorry for extended it, but this was important because this is the last session which I'm giving. My live batch will start from 3rd of May, and I have very less seats for that. So this is how ASM will scan your traffic side by side. What it will do is, let's say there is one host name or sianets.com is a website that comes under. They want to access this website. They want to get the data for student one. So all these headers will be checked one by one line, whether there is any payload which is coming, which is malicious. It will go one by one. So I'll teach you all these details in detail. What will happen at each. So what will happen in this case? F5 will scan your traffic end to end. Does firewall gives you list of file type URL and parameters? No. In F5 there is a learning suggestion concepts which will learn your traffic end to end, your HTTP request traffic and HTTP response traffic. So here I'll show you side by side what it will do. Can you see this? In line number 1, how ASM will check. It will check your HTTP compliance, whether your allowed method which you are using is legal or not. By default, F5 ASM only allow get method, post method, and third one you need to tell me. Someone wants to delete this. Let's say I'll give you one example. That is a question for you. Instead of get page, some hacker came into picture and type delete method. What it will do? Is it a vulnerability or not? I'm just giving you one example. Someone comes here, type delete instead of get. Is it a vulnerability or not? What it will do? It will delete your database. So delete is a vulnerability. So F5 checks whether you are using, when user request is coming into F5, does it have legal method or not? That is the first thing which it will check. See this. In line number 2 and 9, it will check every line whether it is ending with /RNN, whether your format in phishing, guys, when you get a phishing attack in day to day, what it will do? There will be a spelling mistake in between. There can be some mistake in between, right? In phishing attack. So in same way, here it will check the format also. It will check valid file type. Is exe file type valid? Nowadays, WhatsApp scam is going on. Anyone knows about that? What is the latest scam coming into picture right now in WhatsApp? Please be good in cybersecurity, guys. Otherwise, attackers are becoming. Previously, what happened? I'll give you one example. Previously, people used to say that don't click on unknown links. Correct? Nowadays, people say that new news you have seen in WhatsApp, people said that don't click on photos, wedding cards. Nowadays, everyone is giving wedding cards. How? On WhatsApp. Don't click or open photos from unknown. Why? Anyone knows what is the latest scam coming into picture, and what is the protection on that? Come on, anyone. There is a WhatsApp image scam is going in huge way. So that is called steno image. So the technology, what happened latest is, I'll show you. That is in critical, and please be active with me. There is a concept called steganography. What happened is, everyone knows that don't click on unknown links. Now hacker become more smart. They send you a photo. Inside of a photo, there will be a malware which will be inserted. When you open a photo, there will be an file which will get downloaded, which is called APK file. Is it safe to download APK file? Anyone? So what happened? They are using a real world example of Jabalpur. I'll give you. There was a case in Jabalpur. Okay, what happened was a man lost approximately 2 lakh rupees after receiving a WhatsApp message from an unknown number that someone has sent a photo. So there was a malware installed in its mobile, because by default an APK file got downloaded. So they are using a term called stenography. Steganography, that is called LSB, least significant bit, where a hidden data will get embedded in your photo. And you will not get to come. Malware will be there. Once you open, neither you will receive an OTP, nothing. Your money will get lost. So there is a feature called in WhatsApp turn off auto download. Please turn off for media so that it should not get downloaded. If you someone is sending a message from non number, then you can open it because you know that he's sending something from your relative. But you should always turn off your auto download feature. You should install antivirus in your mobiles. You should educate your friends, and you should always report any issue if you feel on this website, cybercrime.gov.in. So that's why WAF is in huge cybersecurity. Mr. Narendra Modi sir has already told that cybersecurity field will be more and more jobs. Don't feel that you will get jobless if you go with me. Rest, it's up to God. So I was showing you this. So it will check, like you have valid file types, valid URLs, parameters. Do you know that when you type a password in your ICICI Bank website, let's say I have a password field. Can you type 1234 5 as a password? What it will give you when you type in ICICI Bank? How it detects whether the password is weak, short, or you should have a combination of at the rate, dollar. How it detects anyone? So there is a field called parameter in password that has a security. So parameter should be alphanumeric. Does Palo Alto gives this feature that you can apply a sensitive parameter security in firewall? If it does not comply, your request will get blocked. Anyone? I want that my password should be alphanumeric, and WAF I can do it. which are the critical parameter I will ask from my application owner, and I can apply a security. But Palo Alto I cannot do. Let's say my phone number should be only 10 digit, or my password should be more than 8 characters strong. You get an error if it is not more than 8 characters. That all security is deployed in ICIC in WAF. So we will cover use cases, live use cases, and I will tell you and perform attacks. So that was it for today, guys. Now I will